welcome back to the Capella factory. All right, not quite, but hello everyone, welcome back to the Klingberg Motorsport YouTube channel. I've made some more poor financial choices this week, which I'm pretty good at. So y'all know the roof chop Capella that I picked up last week, which is my grandpa's car, was my grandpa's car. And now I have acquired another Facebook Marketplace shitbox, which somehow is worse than that. I don't know how, but it is worse than that somehow, even though it has a roof and that one doesn't. Yeah, but this is the donor car, so it's very bad. Like, I'll go over it a little bit through the video, but yeah, lots of bullet holes and stuff, and yeah, different series but same roof line. So my plan is pretty much, yeah, chop that bad boy up. It's got the doors and everything that I need for this, so that I can reuse this body. If you haven't watched last week's video, I'll chuck a link up above here somewhere. But yeah, basically what I said in last week's video, I'm going to chop that through there and pretty much graft that roof onto here. Possibly that roof is not much better than this one. This one does have a bit of a twist in it. That one has bullet holes though and some rust, but this one has similar rust in the same sort of place. But I'm not worried about anything structural in this roof, because this bad boy here is going to get a roll cage. So yeah, over the journey of this car, not sure what it is, it's definitely going to run again, it's definitely going to drive again, and it's going to get a lot of upgrades. I will, like I said, go through it in this video, what I'm going to do with it. But to start with, we're going to dissect this one a little bit, and then yeah, start pulling some bits off of both of them probably, so I don't have two fine pieces of Mazda engineering clogging up my backyard. This Capella I don't actually know a lot about. So it come from Victoria somewhere at some point in its life, and it has sat in a paddock, once again, another farm car, for a long time. While it may make more sense to, you know, use the body of this car, so to speak, and instead of grafting the roof onto that, but you know, like I said in my last video, that is, or was, my grandpa's car, and this is not. So this car here, absolutely everything is going somewhere. So yeah, I'm going to strip it all. So if you need any parts, holler at me. All the interior obviously is going, but it's not obviously the best condition. It's sat for a long time with no windows after somebody has used it as target practice. It does have an engine, manual gearbox, diff, same thing with that. So both of these cars, full driveline, full manual driveline, and they're both being removed. That diff, probably not available, but the rest of it, yeah, good to go basically. So, so the floor pans on the new Capella, older Capella, new to me this week Capella, probably a little bit better than that one, so I'll probably use some bits and pieces from that. But yeah, by the end of this, I'm going to need a WD-40 sponsor. Actually, I need one now, but everything on both of these cars is so seized that it's not funny. But yeah, want to buy 1,000 cans of WD-40. Yeah. Yeah, what else? I mean, this petrol tank is probably rusty. I mean, this one is too probably, but this one, no fuel cap on it, so fuel tank's probably shagged, but not that I need any of that. But yeah, this one has had a fuel cap on it its whole life, so it may be all right. And that one is not staying because, of what is happening with this car. I guess I'd also like to say thanks everyone for the love on last week's video. I'm glad everybody is optimistic that I'll be able to pull this off. I got no doubt that I can do it. It's just, once again, a little bit of time here and there, obviously. A lot of time here and there, I guess. But yeah, I should also start getting stuck into some of my other projects, like the cars that I already have in the shed. But no, let's dive into some new stuff. No rotary, sad face. Stripped some panels off of the donor, and when I first looked at this car, I opened the door and I was like, this has to have been underwater at some stage, because there is literally questionably sized bits of wood in here. And I was like, you know what, maybe it was sitting under a tree for a long time, who knows. And then I got suspicious at the lack of spiders in here. So there's spider webs but no spiders, and I mean, that kind of means there was either one big spider that was eating all the little spiders, or it had been flooded. Then I was like, doesn't matter, who cares anyway, I'm chopping it up. And my suspicions were confirmed when I found a dead fish in here. So I'm pretty sure this got flooded last year when the Murray flooded, but who cares anyway, we're chopping her up. But I had to get this to this point so that I can actually assess what I'm going to do with that, like what bits from this will go onto that. So with all the bits off of it, I have come up with a plan. So what I am going to do is I'm going to unstitch this from here, like, so you can see that seam goes up around here, so I'll unstitch that. I'm going to unstitch this, both sides, this side and that side, and then back here is obviously a common rust spot on Capellas, because this has the same spot. But what I'm going to do is cut this just above here, probably somewhere, because I want to get rid of that. I was going to pull that dent out, but I've changed my mind and I'm going to cut that up through there, because I do not care what it is going to look like. You know what I mean? Bit of bog, bit of whatever, it's fine. Structurally, don't mind. Because I'll go over that in a sec as to why that is the case. But I want to save this panel in front of the windscreen, whatever you want to call it. It's called many things. So I'll unstitch that also and hopefully keep that all in one piece. So unstitch that and keep that in one piece. Unstitch it on the where it connects to the body there, down to there. So that will all come off, and like I said, cut this through here somewhere, and up here just in front of the fuel filler through here somewhere. That side not cutting as much. like I said before as well, the roof is toast, but I'm not too fussed about that. We can work around that. Nothing a bit of body filler won't fix, you know. Haven't got these doors off, but I am keeping these doors. I'll probably keep them with the bullet holes too. Keep a bit of aesthetics of it. But yeah, this one will probably just chop it through, I don't know, maybe here and then down to this body line and something like that. So then I'll do the same on that, because this quarter is pretty decent on this car. Yeah, that cord is pretty good, so I'll just, yeah, do the same thing. Cut her up there. I'm also going to, so yeah, the plan is to basically chop it, unstitch it all so that it's like loose. Obviously I'm going to finish pulling this windscreen out because it's going to have to unstitch it along the front there. Just drill out all the spot welds basically. And then once it's all kind of loose on the car, I'm going to roll it in the shed and just lift it off the body with the hoist. And I will have prepped this car. But like I said, we'll go into this maybe not next video. In the next couple of videos, I'm going to get back and do probably 2 more videos on the VN while I'm waiting for bits and pieces and whatnot. And money, you know how it is. Yeah, and then so I'll have this one prepped sort of thing, and then I'll roll this in underneath the roof on that, and hopefully drop it on and tack her on into place. Now, why am I doing it that way? And why don't I care about structural rigidity? I don't know, I guess whatever you want to call it. Why don't I care about it keeping its like rigid structure? Because it's getting a roll cage, as I mentioned earlier, but I am building a drift car. So this is going to be, I guess, a low-powered seat time car for me. So I'm going to probably keep it reasonably rusty and patinaed to start with, see how it all goes. But I have some bits that I'm going to use on it. So it's getting an A86 front end in it. It's getting a R31 diff, but it's going to be wide, very wide, which is another reason why I'm not too fussed about this area, because I'm going to chop all this out and put some big flares on it nicely, do some wide guards on it and everything, so that it's probably, you know, a little bit better than that, because that doesn't look good, but that's because something's going on with this. At the moment, this side's low, the other side's high. I don't understand what's happening there. Anyway, haven't got time to look into that now. I haven't dived into the motor yet, but what am I doing motor-wise? I am going to put a V8 in it, but not the V8 you think, probably. I'm not putting an LS in it. I am going to put a 1UZ in it. So reasonably low power, 1UZ, stock form, you know, 150 kilowatts, that's all I want out of it. It's just going to be, like I said, a seat time car, something that I can teach people in, something that I can just let other people drive and not care about it. Gearbox wise, I'm probably going to try and find a W55 gearbox. I don't have one at the moment, and then buy bell housing for it, because I'm cheap. Like realistically, I was probably going to try and find a W40 or 50 gearbox out of like a Celica or a Corona. Did they come in? Whatever they were, like the old steel case boxes. And I was going to put one of them in it, just so that I don't have to cut the trans tunnel. But I mean, I don't have one, and I still can't find one. SA is just hard to find parts in, to be honest. Like, but yeah, the 150 kilowatts might be pushing the old W40 or 50 gearbox. So attempt to find a 55. They all run the same bell housing, and I was just going to get a adapter plate, or try and find a bell housing to suit 1UZ somewhere. But yeah, like I said, it's always so hard to find parts in SA. It's almost like I have to like tee up to go buy parts for Victoria, and then one weekend go do a trip to Victoria to pick up some parts so that you can actually like continue with this stuff. Because that's another reason why like builds get put on hold for a couple of weeks, because yeah, just waiting on parts, or you got to order stuff from places you wouldn't think you'd have to order stuff. Anyway, now I'm rambling. Yeah, so 1UZ and full roll cage probably, because of the whole roof being chopped off. Probably do it myself, I think. I'm going to try, like I don't have a bender, so I need to buy a bender, but that's not a big deal. And then yeah, we'll basically strip this bad boy out. So completely strip the interior, so that's why I'm not fussed about anything in this car. It will literally be rip it all out. There will be a few rust holes in the floor that I'll get cuts out of that car for. But otherwise that car is going to be going to scrap after that. So I've pulled a few parts off, obviously rusty, bullet holes, nothing is in good condition, but it is there. So if you do need any bits, I'm keeping the doors obviously, and the roof, everything else going. So, but yeah, if you need any bits, holler. I also don't know what Capella stuff is worth, so new to the Capella game. Anyway, like I got a couple of JZs and stuff lying around, and the reason why I'm not going anything like that is because very, very small engine bay, and I want to use that as reasonably compact. Like steering box is a pain, but I'm going to get rid of all that junk. I'm literally going to bolt, well, it's not going to bolt in, but I'm going to make it fit. I'm only using this car as a reference, but a full cross member, struts, everything in, and I'll just chop that. I'll try and fit the standard KE, AE caster rod brackets in. So then I'll run KE sway bar, KE mounts, everything like that. So it's gonna, yeah, once again, my favorite thing, budget build as possible. So I've got a lot of bits lying around. Diff wise, it's actually gonna get a Pintara diff because I have one sitting here. I feel like this is just all me talking, so sorry in advance, but yeah, I got a Pintara diff sitting here, which I'm going to use 25 spline axles, but I'm not too fussed. I think I'll get away with it. Then it gives me the opportunity to upgrade it down the track when I need to, if inevitably I decide to put more power into it and then I have to change a gearbox, and I can keep the rear end as it is, sort of thing. One really good thing about these cars, so I got a couple sets of old coilovers that I'm going to give the chop and make some, but it's got strut towers in it, right? So that saves me one job. So I'm going to save most of the mounts off of the standard diff. All right, it's better if I just show you. So obviously rusty car, been sitting in sand for a long time, but this is mostly actually just like surfacey rust. It's not too crazy deep. Anyway, so it has a 4-link, which is another good thing. So what I will do is I'll make a jig up to save some of these mounts, that like strut, coilover, whatever you want to call it, that will stay in that position. And I'm actually going to move this arm over to the other side of that strut, if you want to call it that shock, because I'm going to put an equal length 4-link in this. So I'll put it up in through the floor, and there is no room here because of the chassis rail, which is why I'm moving it over. So once again, it'll just be real basic 4-link in it. So I'll probably reuse some bottom arms on the top. The angle of these arms aren't going to be the best, so what I'm actually going to do is make a custom bottom mount to drop that bottom arm a heap, like down to here. So at least I've got some nice angle on that bottom arm to keep everything in line, sort of thing. But we'll do a build on that when I've got the roof back on it, because I want to keep this rolling, and I actually want to get it running before I put the roof on it. Maybe see how we go. All right, anyway, that's enough rambling for me for today. I've got 2 rusty ship boxes. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing rusty ship box wise, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button too. But thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.